right.
All right. So,
welcome to that Jamieson show. And I was in Las Vegas last week, and the minute I landed, I realized, I could have been seeing the Scorpions this week.
I know. Oh, what a mess. I know. I mean, when you think about it, we would have been the whole month of July playing at Planet Hollywood, at the Zappos Theater. And not only our fans in the US, but also the band. We were really excited about to come back to America. We wanted to go into the studio in May and June in Los Angeles with Greg Fidelman, our producer, and then just go over to Vegas, play the shows. We even had, on the off days, we had a studio booked in Vegas, so we could keep working on the new album. And it was such a perfect plan, but here we are. We're all in lockdown, and even though things are looking a little better every other day over here, I know it's pretty scary in the States right now. In some places, it's really tough. I mean, it's so sad,
Yeah.
We miss you guys.
Well, listen, we miss the Scorpions, and but like a lot of bands, you're still creating music. There's been some great songs that have been born out of the lockdown, one of which you participated in, the Winger song. That was a great one, the Better Days Coming. And then band Nonpoint put out a beautiful tribute to the frontline workers. And now the Scorpions have jumped in with Signs of Hope. So you want to tell us a little bit about that song?
Yes. Yeah. Actually, you mentioned just Better Days Coming. I really enjoyed that project with Kip Winger and the boys. It was really cool to be part of that. And when we back from March was when this Corona thing really started, and it was so beautiful to see so many artists joining together, making on those Zoom meetings, and putting things together. And really, it was a huge wave of creativity, And being in the studio, it was easy to pick up the guitar. And of course, it was a moment where the whole world goes through in this COVID-19 pandemic. And it's just, I wanted to say something and a message, like a sign of hope to our fans, to our fan community out there. And just we put it out without this whole easy, a new album's coming, a new single is coming, it was just, hey, here's a song. Just want to make you feel a little better. We want you to fully you're well and healthy, and just to get away from the cruel these days, and deep down into the music, and hopefully you enjoy this one.
Well, what struck me the most about it, Klaus, is the way you recorded the vocal. It just feels like you're singing directly to me. It's the production's very raw on it, and I think it really works for the song, because you do need comfort in this time. So when I listen to that song, I feel like Klaus is singing to me personally.
Yeah, it was like I said, it was not the whole production kind of deal, with Hans Martin, both our engineer in the studio. He came out with a nice mix of it. Ingo Powitzer, Matthias Guitar Tech, he played such a beautiful guitar on this little track, so that's why we decided to put it out just the way it is. So it was no big deal of production or anything. It was more, let's put out something all these platforms, Instagram, and to be in touch with our fans. We just came from the tour. The last show we played in Singapore at March the 5th to Germany. And then that was pretty much it. And we were in the studio, everybody on its own, working on the new album, the new tracks coming in from Rudolf and So there was a lot of material to work with, but this was just new, it was, I picked up the vibe and I had the feeling it would be good if the Scorpions take part of this and not just be in this lockdown, but to offer it, for your soul and give out some soul for our fans.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe the title for your next album should be Crazier World.
Crazier World.
You already had Crazy
right.
World. It's much crazier now, Klaus.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, we could have called the last tour already like a Crazier World tour, like looking back and when Crazy World came out so many years ago. I mean, it's hard to believe, anyway, but we are very much focused on the future, The only thing we're looking back right now, back in the glorious 80s, is when we talked about the direction where we go with this new album. And with Greg Fidelman, we have a great producer, works with Metallica, Slipknot, all those amazing bands. And so it's like the compass is set where we want to go from here, And when we talked about it, we said it would be great if we could find the spirit of the early days, and just go back and make an album the old-fashioned way. Today it's a whole different world out there, It's kind of crazy anyway, to make a new record in 2020. Who is waiting for that? I don't know. Hopefully there are few people out there who are excited about it like we are, and now we started last year with writing songs. We even had a pre-production earlier last year before we went in the summer, we went back out on the road. And then we just picked it up now. And we said, would be great if we can find the old Scorpions DNA. It would be great. But so many years later, who knows? But it's the right spirit. And we all can feel there's a lot of passion, to make this happen, And there's some good songs. I mentioned this so many times already. I don't want to put the expectations too high there, but it feels really good, and it's really a lot of fun to work. And first of all, it's a challenge for yourself, So you really want to make a new album, Are you sure? Oh yeah, okay, let's give it a try. And then you figure out yourself if the good old creativity is still floating. Is it flowing or floating?
Flowing.
You know what I mean? Flowing. Yeah. It's like a river, And interesting thing after all these years to find out for yourself: is it working, or is there something, a piece of paper, writing lyrics, and there's no idea at all, So unfortunately, the opposite was the case, and ideas were coming. I thought it would be nice to tell stories, and I started writing lyrics before there was any song, and I passed on the lyrics to Rudolf, and so it was the other way around. We used to work like always. Rudolf said some tapes. He was singing some melodies or like structure of a song in a demo, and then I picked it up and wrote the lyrics like fitting like a glove, to what he came up with. And this time we worked completely the other way around, and it was exciting, just to write lyrics and put the words first, and I think when I talked to Rudolf, he said also this way was also very inspiring for me, and it gave me some kind of direction that came from the words, So it was interesting. So far, it's been an interesting journey.
Yeah, it's funny. You just mentioned something that every band has a method to their madness when they write songs, right? But I always think they always say, "Oh, it comes from the riff first." So the guitar player comes up with a riff, you put the lyrics on. But what if the guitar player was thinking this would be a great song about cats, and you write lyrics about horses?
Yeah. Yeah. The thing is, I mean, we always had this kind of communication over all those years, and it worked pretty well, you know. So I always try to say or to find the words for what Rudolf was playing with his flying V guitar, you know. And we came up with a piece of music, and most of the time he put on some vocals, you know, and then I could figure out what's the deal here, you know, what he wants to say. And I think most of the time that way we wrote many classics over the years. So, but it's interesting this time to check it out the other way around.
Sure.
And so far, listening to the new songs, to the demos we have so far, I must say it worked out pretty well, you know. And Rudolf was inspired the same way I was the other round.
Yeah, the good thing I think about, or the great thing about the Scorpions, is you never make the same album twice. So whatever comes of this, you know, obviously, like you said, as long as the passion's still there, it's going to be great. Are you gonna have the CIA write any songs on the new album, like they wrote Winds of Change?
Well, you know, I'm waiting for them to give me a call, you know.
Yeah.
But, oh,
it's one of the craziest rumors I ever heard, Klaus.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I would be ashamed, you know, if I would bring up a story like this. I would be really like,
yeah.
I mean, everybody would say, Klaus, no way, you know, this is, I mean, like a marketing plan, 30 years of Wind of Change, you know, no way. It's like, you never would go that far, you know, because everybody, I mean, I don't know anybody who believes that kind of story, you know, but I think the success of the Wind of Change podcast is because people get into this, they're drawn into this kind of scenario, and this, and it's like, it could be true, or maybe not, maybe yes. And I think this is what the whole story is about the CIA and the Scorpions, and everybody picks it up around the world, and it's like, I go, oh, God, the New York Times, jeez, you know, the Rolling Stone again, oh, come on, you know, it's like, I mean, but on the other side, of course, it's not true at all. It shows how powerful music can be.
Sure.
If they think this song was like a tool to help to bring down communism, I mean, geez, you know, I mean, it just underlines in a heavy way that if that would be possible, the power of music, right?
Yeah.
But they try to take credit for something they don't deserve the credit for, right? And my friend Don, right now you're talking to the guy who wrote that song.
Yeah, no,
So I don't need to call the CIA.
Sometimes I like to...
Actually, I mean, it's like those companies, they want permission to use that song for some years to come, you know. And I asked myself, they should have asked the CIA, you know, why they asked me to give them a go, right? So
people like conspiracy theories these days for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, we live in times where those conspiracy theories are all over the place, you know, in many directions, and a lot of people start to believe what they see, what they hear, or what they think, what is the truth, what is for real. And in many cases, it's not, you know. And it's also a lot of people, they don't want to go with the mainstream. And it's like, you know what? I know the USA was never on the moon, you know. It was all fake. There are many people who believe that theory, right?
Are you one of them?
Are you one of them?
No,
No, I'm not. No, No, no way.
Okay.
No, I'm not, but I know there are a lot of people out there, it's like, it's the kind of people, they want to give you the feeling, you believe that, I know better,
Yeah, sure.
and no, yeah. And we live in 2020 with the COVID-19 pandemic, it's so scary, and we all hope we get through this, and hopefully we can come back to a normal life,
Yeah.
and I mean, the whole culture, uh, all those bands, musicians, artists, we're all locked down, we're locked away from our audience, from our fans, and for many of them, they they live from live concerts. They have no income when they don't play shows. There's so little money to make with all those downloads and all the streams. By the way, if you download and stream Sign of Hope, which would be nice, we decided the proceeds will be donated to Music Cares. So we try to support this way. We try to support the music community. But not playing live means for many bands, they come to an edge where it's a question, can we survive being an artist? Or it's a time now for me to find a day job, and to at least to make a little money,
Yeah.
And when I remember when we were like a young band, we were working also with those day jobs, and just to have little money, because little money we had, we put in the band, into equipment, into vans, to have all the stuff you needed, being a young band, to make it over the weekend, to play 700 kilometers away in some place,
Sure.
and so we had little money, and it was a huge step to become a professional musician. That means you can somehow, you struggle, you make your way through, and you try to live from music. And this, for the young generation of bands today who find themselves in this situation, with all the shows and festivals over the summer, they were booked, and they cannot make this next step in their young career. That's really, really sad and very heavy for all those musicians.
Yeah. Well, I think at this point you're going to be able to get through this without a day job, Klaus. I think you've written enough hits that you can take it easy. But you're right. You're right. We all missed the live shows, and besides downloading Sign of Hope, because not only because it's a great song, but because it's also a great charity. Music Cares is a terrific charity. Also, I would recommend highly that people go to the Scorpions YouTube channel, because I've been there like 10 times, and there's so much cool stuff on there. There's so much rare old TV appearances. I don't know if you even know what's on there, but old live concerts and things that you've never seen are on there. It's really great. So people should go there as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to have such a global platform, and it really depends on what you do. And it's also like, if you have the right setup, you can still, even not on the road playing shows, we can communicate with our audience this way. And right now, like a week ago or so, our Russian fan club, they came up with their own version of Sign of Hope, where they were all singing one line after the other, passing on the microphone or passing on a Scorpions fan scarf or whatever, or a drumstick, and it inspired everybody, obviously, so much that now we are right about to finish, like where we have over 3,000 videos, pictures, where the question was, what is send me your sign of hope? And what we get back is lots and lots of pictures with their loved ones, of course, with dogs, with cats and horses, whatever, lots and lots of pets and animals involved, but or a flower or beautiful sunrise, what is your sign of hope, and it's beautiful. And there's such a strong feedback, and that way it's like you feel there's a communication going on, which is beautiful. And now they put this together, and it's a whole different, for me, it's a whole different story. This is how this whole song came all about. It's just about communication, and try to, in a very difficult and dark times, we try to put out something that's uplifting and that gives people a good vibe, a good feel, and to be involved with it, you know. And it's great. And it's like I said, it's like, it feels like a side avenue from the big business kind of thing, you know, where you promote a lot. The new album is coming out, and this and this. Right now, we're working on this album, but it will take some time. Unfortunately, it will be delayed until 2021, you know, but gives us some extra time as well to really get the job done. And so this was like extra avenue, but it's interesting to see how many people feel this is a good thing to be involved, you know. And this is no matter, is this a great song or is it not? Or some people go, come on, Scorpions, you want to make a hot and heavy album, and you talk about it the whole day, you know. But what we hear is like a ballad again. Come on.
Yeah, you know? But the Scorpions, I don't care. Every Scorpions fan, they love the rockers and they love the ballads. Yeah. So
exactly,
you know,
exactly, always the whole package. And so, but of course, promoting the new album and then putting out a song like Sign of Hope is like, it goes different ways.
Oh, yeah.
But this is now, and this is we want the people to feel good and send out this kind of hope, saying it's going to be all right, you know. And we together, we go through this situation, and there will be better times around the corner. That's the whole thing. At the same time, we try to keep working on the album right now. We're very excited to have Mickey and Pavel,
sure,
bass and drums, to join us next week here in Hanover. After all these weeks, they can travel. There are no travel restrictions anymore coming in from Sweden. Like Mickey D lives in Sweden, and Pavel Maciwoda in Krakow in Poland.
Sure.
And so those travel restrictions are gone. And so they come here next week. And when I talked to Mickey yesterday, I could hear how much he was excited. I said, yes, you know. I said, Mickey, it's about time you come over to beat some songs up here, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, and we're very excited because at this point it's kind of difficult with our producer Greg. You know, we have him coming in via Zoom. You know, so it's not the same thing like we're all in the same room, but we try to make the best out of it instead of resignating and I mean doing nothing and waiting for a miracle, you know, something. It's like, come on, let's move on with the project. We have the songs, and now we want to have Mickey and Pavel to be involved, and we take this to the next level, you know. And they are totally excited to come over here and join us in Hanover in the studio. And it feels so good. Finally, the whole band is together, and we can play the songs like a band, you know. And this is also like talking about a new album that we said this time we tried to go a different way. There will be no outside writers. It's going to be 100% Scorpions DNA. This is what we're shooting for, you know. And to have the whole band in the studio, this was what Greg Fidelman came up and said, you know, the biggest difference today to make an album is, I mean, you can do so many things, you know, between LA, Sweden, wherever, Germany, and put it all together somehow. But the main thing is if you bring the whole band together in one room and play the damn songs, you know. Yeah. Let's get it done and play together, you know.
Yep.
And
cool.
And I think that's a great and the right advice, and to put this album on the right track and into the right direction, you know. And we're excited about it. And fortunately, over here, things are much better every other day, and it's more opening up. And we hope it stays like this. And yeah, and of course, we miss Los Angeles, we miss Vegas, our fans. We saw fans on Facebook holding their tickets for Vegas. You know, shows are postponed until next year. And we come back to the States next year for a tour, but also not only the States, but we want to go for another world tour with a new album, with hopefully some great new songs in the set. You know, it was about time to change the set list a little bit. So that was like, yeah, that was like not the biggest motivation, but it was also like, come on, guys, we've been on the road, we've playing all over the world for so many years. Now it's about time to create something new and to have new songs in the set list, come up with a whole new production, and okay, we have some extra time now, and hopefully it works out and will be fantastic.
Yeah, well, we can't wait. Obviously, as a fan, I can't wait. Just keep the CIA out of the studio, and don't let them involved in the songwriting, and everything will be good. Klaus, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thank you, Don. Same here. Thank you so much.
And be
I
well.
enjoyed it very much.
Be safe.
Hope to see you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.